Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're uncovering the hidden value of Lincoln wheat pennies, coins that might look ordinary but can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. From rare dates to striking errors, some of these pennies are true treasures hiding in plain sight. If you think a 1-cent coin can't be valuable, think again. Let's find out which wheat pennies are turning heads in the collector world. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is a notable piece within the historic Lincoln cent series, which spans from 1909 to 1958 for the wheat reverse design. Minted during a significant period of global conflict and national effort, the 1944 penny emerged at a time when the United States was deeply engaged in World War II. The D Mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which played an essential role in the country's coin production during the war years. The Denver Mint was known for its high standards of output and reliability, and in 1944 it contributed a substantial number of coins to circulation, helping to meet the economic demands of wartime America. The obverse of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny features the classic and enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has become iconic in American coinage, portraying the 16th president in a dignified profile facing right. Surrounding Lincoln are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" along the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1944 followed by the mint mark D to the right. This layout remained consistent throughout the wheat penny series, and its simplicity and respect for Lincoln's legacy made it a staple in American pockets for decades. The coin in question is described as used, which means it has passed through the hands of many individuals over the years and shows signs of wear and circulation. On the reverse side of the coin is the wheat ears design, also created by Brenner. This side features two stylized stalks of wheat arching along the left and right edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top of the reverse is the motto E Pluribus Unum, reflecting the nation's unity despite its diversity. This design, simple yet elegant, remained in use until it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. During its 50-year run, the wheat reverse symbolized the agricultural strength and unity of the United States, especially during challenging times such as the Great Depression and the Second World War. The year 1944 was particularly notable in the production of Lincoln cents. Due to the wartime needs for metals like copper and tin, the composition of the Lincoln cent changed briefly in 1943 when steel was used. However, public dissatisfaction with the steel cents led to a return to a copper-based composition in 1944. These post-steel cents were often made using recycled ammunition shell casings from the war, making the 1944 penny not just a circulating coin but a small relic of wartime resourcefulness and adaptation. While the metal returned to the pre-1943 composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the origin of the materials added a unique layer of history to the coins minted during that year, with over 430 million of these coins minted in Denver alone. The 1944 penny is not considered rare. However, its historical context and the role it played in the daily economic life of Americans during the war make it valuable to collectors and historians. Coins from this year saw wide use, and a used example like the one described likely shows signs of wear such as smoothing of the details, slight discoloration, or minor scratches and nicks acquired over time. These physical characteristics, while reducing the coin's grade in numismatic terms, do not diminish its historical interest or significance. The used condition of the 1944 penny means that its design elements may not be as sharp or crisp as those found on uncirculated specimens. Lincoln's cheek and jawline may appear flatter, the lettering may have softened edges, and the wheat stalks on the reverse could be less defined. Despite these signs of circulation, the coin still serves as a valuable piece for collectors who appreciate coins with visible history. Many collectors seek such coins not for their monetary value, but for the story they tell and the hands they may have passed through during pivotal moments in history. This particular coin is also of interest To those who study die varieties and minting anomalies, while the 1940 D penny does not have as famous an error as the 1955 double die or the 1920 no D, there are still minor die breaks, repunched mint marks, and variations in strike quality that can be found among the mintage. For example, some 1940 D pennies may exhibit doubled letters or digits, slight shifts in mint mark positioning, or irregularities caused by overused dies. These subtleties attract the attention of dedicated numismatists and variety collectors who examine Lincoln cents under magnification to identify such traits. Beyond numismatics, this coin holds cultural significance. It circulated during a time when Americans were contributing to the war effort through rationing, war bond purchases, and participation in industry and military service. The 1940 D penny may have been used to buy a newspaper reporting on battles in Europe or the Pacific, or it may have been dropped into a payphone to call a loved one serving overseas. It might have been part of a child's allowance, saved in a coin purse, or tucked into a pocket during long days of factory work. Its presence in everyday life gave it a role in sustaining the nation's economy and morale. The historical value of the 1940 D Lincoln wheat penny is also enhanced by its connection to American patriotism and resilience. Coins from this era carry more than monetary function. They reflect the spirit and struggles of the people who used them. They are artifacts of a time when small actions and daily purchases were part of a larger national cause. In this way, even a common used coin becomes a link to the past and a silent witness to the determination of a generation. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is a classic and historically significant coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, this coin was part of the ongoing production of the Lincoln cent series, which had already gained popularity since its introduction in 1909. The 1937 issue represents a pre-World War II era in American history, a time when the country was emerging from the Great Depression and on the verge of major changes both economically and socially. This particular coin, though it has some dust and shows signs of its age, still holds intrinsic numismatic and historical value. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was revolutionary at the time of its debut in 1909 because it was the first circulating United States coin to feature a real person. By 1937, the Lincoln cent had become an established fixture in daily commerce and had cemented its place in American culture. The obverse shows Lincoln in profile, facing to the right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of the portrait, and the year 1937 to the right. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date confirms that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks on pennies at that time. Despite being in circulated condition and having accumulated some dust, the 1937 Lincoln penny retains much of its original design. In circulated condition, most coins from this era will show wear on Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat details. Even so, the major features usually remain visible, and in some cases, the dust or natural patina on the surface can add a sense of character and authenticity to the piece. Many collectors appreciate coins that show signs of honest use, as they tell a story of how the coin functioned in everyday transactions and passed through many hands over decades. The reverse side of the coin features the iconic wheat ears design, which is why these coins are commonly referred to as wheat pennies. The words 1 cent are boldly displayed in the center, with United States of America just below. The two stylized wheat stalks run vertically along the left and right edges of the coin, framing the inscriptions. At the top is the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," which means "out of many, one." This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958 and remains one of the most recognized designs in American numismatics. On the 1937 coin, the reverse design may be slightly worn, especially on the high points of the wheat ears and the central lettering, but it remains legible and distinct. The year 1937 falls in an interesting period of American history. The nation was still dealing with the lingering effects of the Great Depression, and although the economy had started to recover thanks to New Deal programs and public works projects, millions of Americans were still facing economic hardship. Coins like the 1937 penny were essential in everyday life, used to buy food, newspapers, transportation fares, and other basic necessities. Holding a 1937 penny today offers a tangible link to this era, providing a sense of connection to the individuals who lived through challenging times and used these coins in their daily lives. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 309 million Lincoln wheat pennies in 1937. This makes the coin fairly common in comparison to some other dates in the series. However, availability does not diminish its appeal, especially when the coin is in relatively good shape and maintains its structural integrity. Collectors often seek out coins from every year and mint, and a 1937 penny without a mint mark is a necessary inclusion in any complete Lincoln cent collection. The presence of dust or minor surface imperfections may slightly affect market value, but for many collectors, the historical value far outweighs any small aesthetic flaws. The composition of the 1937 Lincoln penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was the standard alloy for cents of that period. This composition gives the coin its warm reddish-brown tone, which can change over time due to oxidation, exposure to air, and handling. Dust can settle into the crevices of the design, especially around the lettering and wheat stalks, subtly muting some of the finer details. However, collectors typically prefer to leave natural surface elements intact rather than risk damaging the coin through improper cleaning. It is widely recommended that coins with dust or dirt be preserved in their natural state unless handled by a professional conservator. When evaluating a 1937 penny in circulated condition, several aspects are considered. These include the clarity of the date, the visibility of Lincoln's facial features, the legibility of the lettering, and the overall wear on the wheat stalks. Coins with strong details and minimal damage, even if they have surface dust, are still considered desirable. For new collectors, a 1937 penny is an affordable and educational addition to a budding collection, while more seasoned numismatists may seek out high-grade examples or varieties that enhance their broader Lincoln cent sets. Varieties and errors are also an area of interest for collectors. Although the 1937 Lincoln penny does not have widely known major errors like the 1955 double die, there may still be minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or variations in strike quality that can make individual coins more unique. Careful examination under magnification may reveal such features and add another layer of interest to a seemingly common coin. Storage and preservation are essential for maintaining the condition of coins like the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny. Even in circulated condition, coins benefit from being kept in a dry, stable environment away from direct sunlight and humidity. Archival quality coin flips, cardboard holders with clear windows, or coin albums are recommended to prevent further wear and to preserve the coin's appearance. Avoid using household cleaners or abrasive materials, as these can scratch the surface and significantly reduce the coin's value. A coin with natural toning and dust is often more respected in the collecting community than one that has been artificially altered. In conclusion, the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a compelling artifact of American history. Despite its common mintage and circulated condition with some dust present, the coin remains a valuable piece of the numismatic puzzle. It represents a moment in time when the nation was navigating economic recovery and heading toward major global events. Each element of the coin, from Lincoln's enduring image to the iconic wheat reverse, contributes to its lasting legacy. For collectors, historians, and anyone interested in the physical remnants of America's past, the 1937 penny offers both charm and educational value. Its survival through nearly a century of change stands as a quiet testament to durability, tradition, and the enduring legacy of American coinage. The 1939 D. Lincoln Wheat penny coin is part of the long-running and widely collected Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 and featured the iconic wheat ears reverse until 1958. This particular coin, minted in Denver in 1939, represents a significant period in United States coinage and history. The Denver Mint, which is identified by the D mint mark usually found below the date on the obverse side of the coin, produced over 15 million of these coins during that year. However, you mentioned this coin is without a mint mark, which typically would indicate it was struck in Philadelphia. If the coin indeed has no mint mark, despite being labeled as a Denver issue, it may reflect either a mislabeling or a unique variety worth further examination. Regardless of this detail, a 1939 wheat penny in good condition offers insight into both its time period and its enduring role in American culture and commerce. The obverse side of the coin displays the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has become one of the most familiar and enduring portraits in American coinage, symbolizing leadership and resilience. Lincoln's bust faces right, with detailed facial features that are visible even on many circulated coins. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left of the image, and the date 1939 to the right. If present, the D mint mark would be located just below the date. However, if this specific coin lacks a mint mark, it was likely struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on 1-cent coins during that period. The reverse side of the 1939 Lincoln penny features the classic wheat ears design, also crafted by Victor David Brenner. This design showcases to stylized wheat stalks along the left and right edges of the coin, curving upward to enclose the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top of the reverse is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. This motto emphasizes the unity of the states and is a consistent element of United States coinage. The wheat reverse was created to evoke a sense of growth and productivity and was a departure from the more classical designs that had dominated earlier coinage. It remained in use until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. A 1939 penny in good condition typically displays considerable wear from circulation. In numismatic terms, good condition indicates that the coin retains all of its major details, although the finer elements of the design may be worn or smoothed. Lincoln's facial features may be partially flattened, the lettering may be readable, but not sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may have lost much of their interior lines. Even with this wear, coins in good condition hold historical interest and are valued by collectors who seek to complete year and mint mark sets or who are drawn to the personal and cultural stories these coins represent. The year 1939 was a time of significant transition and uncertainty around the world. The global political landscape was shifting dramatically with the outbreak of the Second World War in Europe. Though the United States had not yet entered the conflict, the effects of war were already being felt. Domestically, the country was still recovering from the Great Depression, and economic reforms and public works programs were part of daily political life. The Lincoln cent, in this context, served not only as a unit of currency, but also as a silent participant in the daily lives of Americans. It passed from hand to hand, enabling small purchases, paying for public transportation, and perhaps resting in pockets as tokens of luck or savings. The coin's copper composition, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, gave it a warm reddish tone when newly minted. Over time, this surface color changes due to handling, oxidation, and exposure to environmental conditions. A 1939 penny in good condition may have a dull brown color, possible darkened areas, or patina that reflects its age and use. Some collectors appreciate these natural changes as evidence of the coin's journey, while others may attempt to clean or preserve their coins to maintain as much of the original appearance as possible. It is widely recommended, however, that coins not be cleaned, As improper cleaning can reduce their value and damage their surfaces, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series holds a special place in the hearts of coin collectors. Its long production run and the inclusion of mint marks, design changes, and even error coins make it an accessible and engaging series for collectors of all levels. The 1939 issue is one of the pre-war coins that are often sought after as part of full date and mint mark collections. While not rare in terms of mintage, a coin from this year still tells a story and represents a tangible piece of American history. Collectors often study varieties and minting anomalies when evaluating Lincoln. Since, in 1939, no major double die or repunched mint mark varieties were officially recognized for the Denver Mint issue, but close inspection of individual coins can reveal minor die cracks, planchet flaws, or other minting quirks. These elements add depth and challenge to the collecting process and encourage a closer look at what might otherwise seem like a common coin. In this case, the absence of a mint mark on a coin thought to be from the Denver Mint could warrant further investigation by a numismatic expert to verify its origin and assess its potential uniqueness. For many collectors, the Lincoln Wheat Penny is their first introduction to numismatics. These coins are often found in old jars, passed down through generations, or discovered in rolls from banks. The affordability of most wheat pennies, including those from 1939, makes them ideal for beginning collectors, while the opportunity to study varieties and build complete sets offers ongoing engagement for more experienced hobbyists. Even in worn condition, each Lincoln Wheat Penny serves as a small window into the past. The 1939 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, or one from that year without a mint mark, is more than just an old coin. It is a small piece of history representing the design artistry of the early 20th century, the economic struggles and resilience of the American people, and the everyday commerce that shaped the country's growth. Its enduring presence in collections across the world is a testament to its value not only in sense but in significance. Whether housed in a coin album, studied under magnification, or simply held in the palm of one's hand, the 1939 Lincoln Penny connects us to a world that was very different yet somehow still familiar. The 1937's Lincoln Wheat Penny is a piece of American numismatic history minted during a time of economic recovery and social change in the United States. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this penny carries the small yet significant S Mint mark below the date on the obverse side. Its circulated condition tells the story of a coin that has traveled through the hands of countless individuals over many decades. These coins were not simply items of monetary value, but were an essential part of daily life and commerce, especially during the period following the Great Depression. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, to which this coin belongs, is among the most recognized and collected in United States history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design was the first regular issue United States coin to feature the image of an actual person. The obverse of the 1937's penny showcases the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait remains one of the longest used coin designs in American history. Even in circulated condition, the coin's primary design elements are typically visible. Lincoln's right-facing profile includes details such as his beard, the contours of his face, and his clothing. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," and to the left is the word "Liberty," with the year 1937 to the right. Below the date lies the small S Mint mark, indicating it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. Despite wear from circulation, this coin often retains enough detail to make these features recognizable, which adds to its historical and collectible appeal. The reverse side of the coin carries the original wheat ears design that gave this series its nickname. On each side of the coin are stylized sheaves of wheat, representing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. Between them are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above, while circulated coins tend to show signs of wear along the edges of the wheat stalks and the lettering. This design is generally resilient and remains identifiable even on well-used examples. Each mark and surface change on a circulated 1937 penny is a reminder of the thousands of interactions the coin has seen over the decades, making it a true artifact of American history. The year 1937 itself was significant. The United States was emerging from the Great Depression and beginning to stabilize economically. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was in his second term, and many New Deal programs were either underway or being reevaluated. Although the worst of the Depression had passed, many Americans were still feeling its effects. A penny at that time had substantial buying power, and people often counted and saved every coin they earned. A 1937 penny in circulation would have been used for small, everyday purchases such as newspapers, candy, matches, or perhaps a local bus fare. These transactions, though simple, were the lifeblood of the American economy, and the penny played a crucial role in them. From a production standpoint, the San Francisco Mint struck just over 34 million Lincoln wheat pennies in 1937. While this is not an especially low mintage figure, it is lower than the combined production numbers of the Philadelphia and Denver mints for the same year, making the 1937 issue somewhat more desirable to certain collectors. Its scarcity is further influenced by its survival rate in higher grades. Circulated examples like the one in question are more common, yet each has its own unique story based on the wear patterns, toning, and any distinctive marks acquired over time. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a standard alloy for Lincoln pennies until the early 1940s. This metal composition makes the coin susceptible to toning and oxidation, especially when exposed to environmental factors such as humidity or oils from human skin. Many circulated examples, including the one being described, show varying degrees of discoloration or surface change, which may include brown, reddish, or even dark shades. These color shifts are natural and often enhance the coin's historic character rather than detract from its value. In fact, many collectors appreciate a circulated coin with an honest patina more than a cleaned or altered specimen, although the market value of a 1937 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is modest. Its significance lies in its history and representation of an important era in American life. Coins like this one are often used by collectors to complete date and mint mark sets, especially those working on building a complete run of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. A well-preserved circulated example can be an ideal choice for such collectors due to its affordability and availability. Even beyond numismatics, these coins appeal to history lovers, educators, and even artists who see them as tangible links to the past. When storing or displaying a circulated 1937 penny, proper care should be taken to prevent further deterioration. The coin should ideally be kept in a holder or flip made of inert materials, such as mylar, which do not contain PVC that can damage the metal over time. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a fascinating artifact from mid-20th century American history. Minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this coin is part of the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series, which was first introduced in 1909. The series honors the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln and features his profile on the obverse side. This particular coin from 1957 came during a period of economic growth and post-war optimism in the United States. It circulated during a time when America was beginning to experience rapid technological development and cultural change. Although this coin shows signs of age with some visible dust on its surface, it still holds substantial historical and numismatic value. The obverse design of the coin, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, presents a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The details of his face, hair, and suit collar are generally clear but may show some softening in definition due to circulation. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that had already become a standard part of American coinage by the mid-20th century. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, and to the right is the year of issue, 1957. The lack of a mint mark beneath the year tells us that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not include a mint mark. On its sense, the reverse of the 1957 wheat penny features to stylized wheat ears that curve upward from the bottom left and right edges, encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America. The top of the reverse includes the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This design remained consistent from 1909 through 1958 and is highly recognizable among collectors. Though the coin has gathered some dust from years of circulation and storage, many of its design elements may still be visible. Coins that have experienced environmental exposure can sometimes develop a thin layer of dust or fine debris that adheres to the coin's surface, especially in the recesses of the lettering and design. While this does not drastically reduce the coin's historical significance, collectors generally prefer cleaner coins when possible. The composition of the 1957 penny includes 95% copper, with the remaining 5% made up of tin and zinc. This traditional bronze alloy gives the coin its classic reddish-brown color when freshly minted. Over time, oxidation and contact with the environment can cause the coin to darken, develop spots, or accumulate dust and grime, all of which contribute to its character. Some collectors enjoy these signs of aging as they reflect the journey of the coin through decades of use. This particular coin may have passed through countless hands and pockets, helped make small purchases, or perhaps sat forgotten in drawers, jars, or old piggy banks before being rediscovered. In terms of production, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in high numbers. Over 1 billion of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making them relatively common even today. However, their abundance does not diminish their importance, especially for collectors who are interested in completing date and mint mark sets or who are studying the historical context in which these coins were used. The wheat penny series is one of the most collected coin types in American numismatics, partly because of its nostalgic value and partly because it provides an approachable entry point for beginning collectors. The 1950s were a time of dramatic change and growth in the United States. Families were moving to the suburbs, televisions were becoming commonplace, and the country was in the early stages of the Cold War. A coin like this one circulated in an America full of diners, drive-in, theaters, and department stores. Children could use a few cents to buy candy or ride the streetcar, and adults might have carried this coin in their wallets or purses to pay for gas or coffee. These small transactions added up to form the rhythm of daily life in mid-century America, though. Worn and slightly dusty, this coin still performs its role as a historical object, carrying with it traces of the lives it touched. For numismatists and casual collectors alike, coins like the 1957 wheat penny are more than just metal tokens. They represent the economic systems, cultural norms, and personal experiences of the past. Holding such a coin is like holding a tiny time capsule, one that opens a window into the everyday reality of a different era. Its presence invites curiosity about who might have spent it, where it has traveled, and what kind of stories are tied to its long circulation. Even in its circulated and slightly dusty condition, this coin has educational value. It offers opportunities to study metallurgy, economics, and art, as well as to engage with the broader sweep of American history. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a historically significant and collectible coin that marks the final year of the beloved wheat reverse design. Minted in Philadelphia, this coin was part of a long-standing series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat cent, as it is affectionately known, was the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the Lincoln cent features a right-facing profile of President Lincoln and has remained largely unchanged in design for over a century. The 1958 issue, especially without a mint mark, is a notable piece for collectors due to its position as the last in the Wheat Penny series before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. The obverse of the 1958 penny features Lincoln's portrait with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty on the left side, and the date 1958 on the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, as coins from that mint during this period typically did not include a mint mark. In circulated condition, as this particular example is described, the coin may show signs of moderate wear on Lincoln's face, hair, and coat, with some smoothing of the finer details that once gave the design depth. However, even with wear, the essential elements of the design remain visible and serve as a testament to the coin's enduring use in everyday commerce. The reverse side of the coin features two stylized stalks of wheat curving along the left and right edges, flanking the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above this central design is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This reverse design had been a defining feature of the Lincoln penny since its inception, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and national unity. By 1958, this classic reverse had already become an iconic part of American numismatics. For many collectors and historians, the 1958 penny represents the closing chapter of an era that spanned nearly 5 decades. During 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 252 million Lincoln Wheat pennies, making the coin relatively common in terms of total mintage. Despite its high production numbers, the coin still holds appeal due to its age, historical context, and the fact that it represents the end of a design lineage. In circulated condition, the coin may have surface abrasions, dulled luster, and minor nicks or discoloration from years of handling and exposure. These signs of wear are typical for coins that were used regularly and are not considered damage, but rather a natural part of the coin's life story. The significance of the year 1958 in the context of the Lincoln cent lies not only in its numismatic value but also in the broader social and historical backdrop of mid-20th century America. The country was experiencing post-war prosperity, cultural evolution, and technological progress. The Lincoln Wheat penny, used in everything from small daily transactions to savings jars and lunch counters, was a constant presence in American life. For collectors, owning a coin from this final year offers a sense of connection to that time, serving both as a collectible and a piece of national memory. Coins like the 1958 Wheat penny, even in circulated condition, are often the starting point. For many numismatists, they are affordable, widely available, and steeped in history. They also provide an excellent reference for studying how coins age, how designs hold up over time, and how circulation affects different elements of a coin's surface. When handling such coins, it is important to preserve their condition as much as possible. Though this coin is already circulated, further damage from improper storage or cleaning can reduce its appeal and potential value. Using archival safe holders and keeping the coin in a dry environment are simple but effective methods for preservation. One of the reasons this particular coin garners interest is that it precedes the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which debuted in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That design shift marked a new direction for the cent, both visually and symbolically, and effectively ended the run of the Wheat Reverse. Therefore, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny is often seen as the last link to the original vision that Victor D. Brenner brought to life nearly 50 years earlier. For those collecting by type or date, this coin is a must-have as the final example of the Wheat series from Philadelphia. The copper alloy used in the 1958 penny was the standard 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition that had been used for most of the wheat cent's production life. This metal composition gives the coin its warm, reddish tone, though time and exposure can lead to a range of surface appearances, from bright red to deep brown. In circulated examples, it is common to see toning, fingerprints, or oxidation. While this coin is described as circulated, it still holds collectible interest, especially if the lettering and date are clearly readable and the coin maintains decent structural integrity. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents often seek a complete date and mint mark set, and the 1958 no mint mark penny is essential to completing the wheat cent timeline. While uncirculated or high-grade examples may carry a premium, circulated coins still serve as valuable placeholders or educational pieces. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny is a notable example of mid-20th century American coinage and remains a popular choice among collectors who appreciate its historical significance and classic design. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, this penny carries the characteristic S mint mark below the date on the obverse side. While over 70 years have passed since it was struck, the coin still represents a time in the United States marked by post-war growth, industrial expansion, and societal change. Though the coin in question is in good condition and circulated, its features remain distinct enough to offer both visual appeal and numismatic value. As part of the larger Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1952 issue contributes to one of the most enduring and collected coin series in American history. The Lincoln wheat penny series was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin broke tradition by featuring a real person on a circulating American coin for the first time. The obverse of the 1952 penny features a right-facing portrait of Lincoln, capturing the solemn dignity and integrity for which he is remembered. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right, just above the small s mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Despite the coin being circulated, these elements are typically well preserved in good condition, making the portrait and lettering readable and the design attractive to collectors. On the reverse side of the coin, the classic wheat ears design continues to communicate the values of unity and agricultural abundance that were central to early 20th century American identity. The design consists of two stylized sheaves of wheat bordering the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This reverse design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. For the 1952 penny, the reverse often shows light wear along the edges of the wheat stalks and lettering, especially in circulated condition. But most details remain identifiable and pleasing to the eye. The 1952 penny was minted during a time of increasing prosperity in the United States. Following the end of the Second World War, America experienced a period of economic expansion. Known as the post-war boom, the 1950s were characterized by the rise of the middle class, rapid suburbanization, technological innovation, and a focus on domestic consumerism. A penny minted in 1950 would have been part of daily life for millions of Americans, used in transactions that were both ordinary and essential. Whether paying for a newspaper, a piece of candy, or part of a school lunch, this coin served a vital function in the country's economic engine. The idea that such a coin has remained intact and irrecognizable through decades of use enhances its significance and adds to its story. The San Francisco Mint struck approximately 137 million Lincoln wheat pennies in 1952. This relatively high mintage means that the coin is not rare in the traditional sense, but examples in good condition, especially those that have not been cleaned or damaged, remain desirable to collectors. The S-Mint mark adds a layer of interest for those completing a full collection of Lincoln cents by date and mint. Many collectors aim to gather one of each date and mint combination, making coins from the San Francisco Mint an essential part of any comprehensive Lincoln cent collection. The 1952 penny holds its place in this series as a mid-century representation of American minting standards and craftsmanship. The composition of the 1952 penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. a standard formula used for Lincoln cents throughout most of the wheat penny era. This copper alloy gives the coin its rich reddish-brown color when uncirculated, but exposure to air, handling, and environmental conditions can darken the surface over time. In good circulated condition, the coin may display a blend of red, brown, or darker hues, all of which are considered normal. Some collectors even prefer coins with even toning, as it indicates that the coin has not been artificially cleaned or altered. Natural wear and color shifts are part of the story each coin tells, and they contribute to its authenticity and charm. When examining a 1952 penny in good condition, one can appreciate the durability of its design and the quality of its strike. Good condition generally means that the major features of the coin remain clearly visible, although some finer details may be worn down from circulation. This level of preservation is often seen as desirable because it suggests the coin has experienced real-world use without suffering excessive damage. Each scratch, tone change, and worn edge contributes to a narrative that spans over 7 decades, connecting collectors with the past in a tangible way. Collectors who come across a 1952 Lincoln penny often include it in their sets as part of a broader effort to build a complete collection of wheat cents. Even though the individual value of such a coin in good condition may be modest, it plays an important role in telling the full story of the Lincoln cent series. It also serves as an accessible entry point for new collectors who are beginning to learn about the intricacies of mint marks, grading, and coin storage. For experienced collectors, finding a well-preserved 1952 penny that fits the overall aesthetic of a collection can be just as satisfying as discovering a rare piece. Proper storage and handling are key to preserving coins like the 1952 penny. It is recommended to keep the coin in a non-PVC holder or an archival quality album to prevent further oxidation and environmental damage. Storing the coin in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight will help maintain its current state. When handling the coin, touching only the edges will prevent the transfer of oils from the skin to the coin's surface, which can lead to staining or corrosion over time. By taking these precautions, collectors can ensure that this coin continues to be appreciated and preserved for future generations. In summary, the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a small copper coin. It is a historical artifact that reflects a specific time in American life, a product of the San Francisco Mint's skilled craftsmanship, and a valued piece within one of the most beloved coin series in the world. In good condition, it continues to hold aesthetic, educational, and collectible value. The coin connects us to the people who used it, the hands that passed it from one transaction to the next, and the cultural landscape of mid-century America. Whether it ends up in a coin album, a classroom, or a personal collection, the 1952 penny serves as a timeless reminder of the rich heritage and enduring legacy of United States coinage. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a classic piece of American coinage that offers insight into the economic and cultural backdrop of the post-war United States. This coin, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, is part of the beloved Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features a strong and enduring portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has become one of the most recognized and respected in American numismatics. The absence of a mint mark on this coin clearly indicates its origin at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on 1-cent coins during this period. The year 1950 marked a time of transition and renewal in the United States. The nation had emerged from World War II just 5 years earlier and was beginning to assert itself as a global economic and political power. Domestically, families were growing, suburban communities were expanding, and the American consumer economy was booming. Amidst these sweeping changes, coins like the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny were in constant use. They changed hands at grocery stores, movie theaters, gas stations, and schools. They were placed in savings jars, piggy banks, and vending machines. quietly powering everyday transactions that collectively shaped the nation's post-war growth. This specific coin is noted to be in good condition, which typically means that most of its design elements are still clearly visible, though there may be signs of wear from circulation. On the obverse side, the portrait of Lincoln remains the central feature. Inscriptions such as the word Liberty to the left, the year 1950 to the right, and the motto "In God We Trust" above his head are generally still legible. These elements were carefully arranged to reflect the country's values and respect for its history and leadership. Even in good condition, the coin may show softening of the finer details around Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat, which is expected from a coin that has passed through many hands over more than 70 years. Turning to the reverse side, the coin features two stylized wheat stalks flanking the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these is the motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This reverse design, in use from 1909 to 1958, is one of the most iconic in the history of American coins. It not only emphasizes agricultural strength and unity, but also reflects the artistic choices that defined early 20th century numismatic design. The wheat ears are usually well defined in coins that are in higher grades, and in a coin described as good, they may be partially worn down, but still identifiable. In terms of its physical properties, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gave the coin its distinctive reddish-brown color when newly minted, although over time and depending on how the coin was stored or handled, this hue may have darkened or developed patina. The presence of good color and minimal corrosion helps maintain the coin's desirability among collectors. Because of its composition, older Lincoln cents like this one tend to have a pleasant tactile feel and visual richness not found in the later copper-plated zinc cents introduced in 1908. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 272 million 1 cent coins in 1950, making this coin relatively common in terms of mintage. Nevertheless, every coin has its own unique journey. Each scratch, edge, nick, or slight discoloration may tell a part of that journey. A 1950 wheat penny might have been given as change at a diner, dropped and picked up on a city street, or used in countless small exchanges during an era when even a penny could purchase something of value. It is this everyday use, combined with the longevity of copper-based coins, that makes them such meaningful historical objects. Many Americans still recall seeing or spending these coins during their childhoods, and the emotional connection they provide is an important part of their continued appeal. Collectors today seek Lincoln wheat pennies for a variety of reasons. Some are interested in completing a full year and mint mark set from 1909 to 1958. Others enjoy the challenge of finding high-grade examples or coins with interesting toning or strike characteristics. The 1950 penny, although not rare, serves as a vital link in these collections. It represents a stable and productive era in American history, and owning one is like holding a fragment of that time. The affordability and availability of this coin in decent condition make it a great option for beginning collectors and those looking to expand their historical collection. Beyond collecting, coins like this one are valuable in educational contexts. Teachers often use old coins to help students explore history, economics, and even art. A coin such as the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny can prompt discussions about the cost of living in the 1950s, the significance of Abraham Lincoln's legacy, or the artistic elements of early 20th century coin design. For younger generations who have grown up with different currency systems, touching and examining such a coin offers a tangible connection to a bygone era. It helps build awareness of how much things have changed over time and how certain objects remain constant in our daily lives. As we examine this coin in detail, we can appreciate the craftsmanship that went into its creation. Victor David Brenner's design was the first real departure from allegorical figures like Liberty in favor of a real historical figure on circulating U.S. coins, his initials, which can sometimes be found at the bottom of Lincoln's shoulder. on early issues were originally controversial but later reinstated in a more modest form. The simplicity and strength of Brenner's design have helped make the Lincoln cent the longest-running coin design in American history. Though the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is not considered a rare or high-value coin, its worth is far greater than its face value in terms of historical and cultural significance. Its good condition allows it to serve as a representative example of mid-century coinage. Whether included in a personal collection, used as an educational tool, or simply admired for its endurance through time, this coin remains a meaningful piece of America's numismatic story. Next up we have the 1950-60 Lincoln wheat penny coin is an important part of the long-running and historically significant Lincoln cent series. This series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and continued with the wheat reverse design until 1958. The 1950-60 issue marks one of the final years of the wheat penny design before the change to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin bears the D mint mark to the right of the date on the obverse side. The Denver Mint was known for producing a high number of Lincoln cents during the 1950s, and in 1956 it struck more than 1 billion wheat pennies. While the coin is common in terms of mintage numbers, it holds interest for collectors due to its place in the final years of the wheat design and its reflection of the coinage practices of mid-century America. On the obverse of the 1950-60 Lincoln penny, one finds the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and has become one of the most recognized images in American numismatics. The design features Lincoln facing to the right with the inscription "In God We Trust" along the upper rim. To the left of the portrait is the word "Liberty," and to the right is the year 1956 followed by the mint mark D. This configuration remained consistent throughout the wheat penny years and is one of the most iconic in the history of United States coinage. The bust of Lincoln on this coin, though small in size, conveys a quiet dignity and has been used on the cent for more than a century. The reverse side of the coin features the traditional wheat ears design, which gives the coin its popular name. The design includes two stylized stalks of wheat on the left and right sides curving upward and framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. This reverse design symbolizes agricultural prosperity and the strength of the American economy rooted in its agrarian history. The simplicity and symmetry of the wheat ears design made it an enduring and beloved feature of American coins for nearly 50 years. The coin in question is described as being in good condition. In numismatic grading terms, good typically refers to a circulated coin that shows considerable wear but still retains enough detail to be identifiable. On a 1950-60 penny in good condition, the major design elements, such as Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse, are likely still visible, but may be worn smooth in areas. Lettering may be clear though not sharp, and the surface may show signs of wear from handling over time. Such coins are common among collectors and often serve as foundational pieces in Lincoln cent collections. While they may not carry significant monetary value in this condition, they offer educational and historical insights into American coinage and circulation patterns. The year 1956 was a time of relative prosperity and optimism in the United States. The country was in the midst of a post-war economic boom. Suburbs were expanding, technology was advancing, and American culture was being reshaped by music, television, and new consumer trends. The Lincoln penny, ever present in the pockets and purses of everyday citizens, played a role in the small transactions that fueled the American economy. A 1950-60 penny might have been used to buy candy at a corner store, placed into a parking meter, or saved in a child's piggy bank. Each coin tells a silent story of its journey through the decades, a witness to the daily lives of those who used it. For collectors, the 1950-60 penny offers an accessible and historically rich piece. It is often collected as part of a date and mint mark set, where enthusiasts aim to gather one example from each year and each mint. Due to its high mintage, the 1956 penny is relatively easy to find in circulation even today, though those in higher grades or in uncirculated condition are more sought after. The coin is also used as a reference point when studying variations in strike quality, planchet composition, and die wear during the final years of the wheat penny series. Another area of interest for collectors and numismatists is the study of errors and varieties. While the 1956 penny is not widely known for major errors, minor varieties such as repunched mint marks or die cracks do exist and are cataloged by specialists. These subtle distinctions can turn a common coin into a more desirable collectible, especially when the variety is rare or features an interesting error. The study of such anomalies adds another dimension to collecting, encouraging close inspection and a deeper understanding of the minting process. From a metallurgical perspective, the 1956 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition had been standard for many years and would soon be altered in response to rising metal costs. The reddish-brown tone of a copper penny can change over time, developing into darker hues or gaining patina depending on environmental conditions. A coin stored in a dry area may retain its bright luster, while one exposed to moisture or air pollutants may develop spots, toning, or even corrosion. These surface changes, while often viewed as imperfections, also provide insight into the coin's journey and the conditions it has endured. The Lincoln wheat penny remains a cornerstone of American coin collecting. Its long-run historical significance and iconic design make it a favorite for collectors at all levels. The 1950-60 example represents the tail end of the wheat series and offers a glimpse into the minting trends and cultural backdrop of mid-20th century America. It is a coin that bridges past and present, connecting collectors to a time when pennies held more purchasing power and coinage was a vital part of daily life. In conclusion, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny coin in good condition is a common yet meaningful artifact of American history. Its design speaks to national pride and remembrance. Its wear tells of decades of use and exchange. Its mint mark places it within the broader story of United States coin production. For collectors, it offers a tangible link to the past and a valuable piece within one of the most popular coin series ever minted. Whether appreciated for its design, its history, or its role in American culture, the 1956 penny continues to hold a place of respect and curiosity in the world of numismatics. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny is part of a long and historically significant coin series in the United States, and it represents an important piece of American numismatic heritage. This specific coin was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D-Mint mark located just below the date on the obverse. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and continued through 1958. It was the first regularly issued U.S. coin to depict an actual historical figure, breaking away from the tradition of using allegorical images. The 1955 issue came near the end of the series, and it is widely collected by enthusiasts interested in this classic design. The obverse of the 1955 penny features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of the portrait, and the year 1955 followed by the mint mark D on the right. Over time and through circulation, many of these coins, like the one described, develop surface imperfections. In this particular case, the coin is noted to have some dots on its surface, which could be the result of minor corrosion, contact marks, or environmental exposure. These characteristics, while common in circulated coins, give each piece a unique history and visual identity. On the reverse side of the coin is the iconic wheat ears design, which had been in use since 1909. This design features checkered stalks, of wheat framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above the denomination is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. The wheat reverse, simple yet symbolic, was meant to evoke the agrarian roots of the country and remains one of the most recognized and celebrated reverse designs in American coinage. By 1955, this design was already on the cusp of being replaced, making each remaining issue increasingly significant for collectors. The Denver Mint struck over 500 million Lincoln cents in 1955, making the 1955 D penny quite common in terms of mintage. However, despite its abundance, it holds numismatic value due to its age, historic design, and the interest surrounding coins from the 1950s. While high-grade uncirculated specimens may command more attention and price, circulated coins with distinct features such as the described surface dots also hold interest, particularly for collectors aiming to complete date and mint mark sets or for those studying die varieties and minting characteristics from the era. In terms of its physical condition, a 1955 D penny with some dots would typically be considered lower-grade circulated. The dots may be a result of oxidation, pitting, or small areas of verdigris, which can occur when copper reacts with environmental elements like moisture and air. While these imperfections might reduce the coin's aesthetic appeal to some, others see them as markers of authenticity and age. Collectors often prefer coins with original surfaces, even if they are imperfect, over coins that have been cleaned or tampered with. As originality retains historical integrity, the significance of the 1955 D penny also comes in part from its association with one of the most famous era coins in U.S. history, the 1955 double die penny. While that particular error occurred at the Philadelphia Mint and not in Denver, the year 1955 holds special meaning for Lincoln cent collectors. As a result, all pennies from this year receive added attention, and collectors may look closely at Denver minted examples to examine other minor varieties or minting anomalies. Copper coins like the Lincoln wheat cent are particularly susceptible to changes in appearance over time. Exposure to different storage environments can lead to a variety of toning colors and surface changes. The dots described on this coin may be part of that natural aging process. While these may not affect the coin's structural integrity, they can provide information about the coin's journey through decades of circulation and storage. For example, prolonged storage in high humidity areas can accelerate the development of small spots or darkened areas on copper coins. From a historical perspective, coins like the 1955 D wheat penny offer a tangible connection to the economic and cultural life of mid-20th century America. In 1955, the country was undergoing significant transformation, with the post-war economic boom influencing everything from consumer goods to popular culture.